Hello, everyone. My name is Riding Truitt Jr. I am a drone pilot, a graphic designer, an all-around creative. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how I edit my drone photography. It's not that hard, very simple. A few simple edits with some edits to the colors themselves in the individual channels. But other than that, it's really simple. We're going to show you how to take your drone photos to the next level in this video. So to start off, I always mess with the exposure. Doesn't matter if it's perfectly exposed or underexposed. Most of the time, it's not overexposed just because I know what I'm doing out here. Okay. If I didn't know what I was doing, then you wouldn't be here on this video. You feel me? Okay. So, let's go ahead and let's mess with this exposure. Bring it up just a little bit. Now, you're going to see that this white part is overexposed. There is nothing we can do about that. It's either you're going to expose for your subject or you're going to expose for the sky around it when you're flying a drone. There's really no in between. It's weird. Trust me, it's super weird, but hey, it's what you got to live with. So, first of all, we did the exposure here, so I want to up the contrast here. Let's up the contrast, kind of make those parts that are darker, you know, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Okay, let me stop. Okay, all right, let me stop. All right, so we're gonna take these highlights and we're gonna move them down, just so we can get more detail in the shot. And we're gonna take these shadows, move them down as well, just so we can bring in some darkness into the image. And this has already dramatically changed this image from the beginning. Okay, so let me show you the original. That's the original. That's with the edits that we've already done. It looks different, like dramatically different. Kind of like that beauty mode boost that you do when you take a selfie. Doesn't fix everything, but it makes most things look good. So that's that. We're gonna up the whites a little bit. That's a lot of bit. We're gonna up the whites to about 20. Okay, 20. There we go. We're also gonna bring down the blacks just to create more of that contrast. I don't know, but I love this. This looks great already. Honestly, I think this looks amazing already. Okay, so what we are going to do here is we are gonna bring down the temperature a little bit, just a teeny bit, just like that's enough. If we bring it up, it's a little bit too much. But if we bring it down just a little bit, to 4. I think that looks good. Even okay, what just happened? All right, let's go back here. Don't know why I did that. Let's go back into our edit panel. Let's just bring it up to 3. 3 makes me feel good. 3 is a crowd. All right. So with that being said, we are gonna take our tint and we're gonna bring it up a little bit. Mm, uh, 15. I think that looks good. I think that looks real good. From original to boom. I like that. And then we're gonna bring the vibrance and bring it up ever so slightly to about 20. Okay. Bring the saturation down a little bit. About 15, There we go. Okay, so now here comes the fun part. This is my favorite part in editing. I get to edit the individual color profiles of this image. So yeah, let's do that. Let's go to hue. Take the hue down because I really like the kind of like the muted yellow look. I like that. We're gonna up the luminance here. And that already looks amazing. And then the piece to resistance. Take this saturation, push it up, push it up. Look at that. That already looks amazing. I love how that looks, but we're not done. We're also going to take this yellow channel here and we're going to go back with it as well. You see, because we have some yellow here. Like if you kind of do this little motion, you can see. You can see that there's some changes. And I like there to be that change. So we're gonna bring it around here, bring up the saturation a little bit, and we're gonna bring up the luminance just like that. But all right, so that takes care of that. There's another thing we're gonna do. We're gonna go over here to this aqua color. We're gonna bring the aqua down a little bit. You see how it's changing up here at the top? Changing up here. So bring the aqua down a little bit just so we get a little bit of color variation because if we push it up, that just looks horrible. That literally looks bad. So let's bring it back down over here. Okay, so to about right there, -61 is good. We're gonna up the actually no, we're gonna bring down the saturation. I don't want that color to show through a whole bunch. I still want it to be there, but not be super prominent. We are gonna up the luminance here. Boom. I like that a whole bunch. What I always do after the fact is I like to go and see if it needs any noise reduction, and lo and behold, it does. Not any regular noise reduction. I mean, we could put some on, but it's not really necessary. We definitely need some color noise reduction, though. Yeah, you see. Let me go back. You see how you have all these like splotches of color right here. We can go ahead and turn this up a little bit, not too much. 15's good. Or if you're feeling froggy, let's go up to 20, even more so 30. Oh, if I can get 30, 30, and it kind of gets rid of those. So it's a more uniform look. I like it like that. Now that I'm seeing this, I kind of want a little bit more detail in here. Well, not detail, a little bit more color. So we're gonna up the saturation a tiny bit. That wasn't a tiny bit. That's actually a lot. So 15 is good, and bam, dude, that is looking great already. And so here's the original, just plain boring, and here is the edited version. Original, edited version. I really like doing this. This is kind of, this has to be one of my favorite edits that I've done to my own photography. I've actually have I've made it into a preset. That's how much I love it. So that's that. Next thing that we do with this is I like to size this for Instagram. So I'll take this aspect ratio size and I'll go 4:3 and turn it on side like that. That way I get a lot of the image and it still looks good. So I can post it on social media wherever I wanted to post it at, and it'll still look amazing. So go ahead and press that. Go ahead and enter. Boom. And we are done with that. From that to that. All right, so moving on to the second photo. Same waterfall, different image. Let's get it. All right, so we're going to pull down the exposure a little bit. We don't have to pull it down a whole bunch because this image is kind of dark in and of itself. Maybe 34, that's fine. We can up the contrast a little bit. And actually, if you know what, let's not pull down the exposure. Let's up it a little bit, up the exposure. Only a small portion. If I can, you know what, let's just type it in 20. Oh wow, that no, point 20. That's better. Sheesh. That was crazy. Okay. All right. So we can take down these highlights a little bit, gives a little bit more definition. And the whites here, since the whites are basically the highlight here, take down the shadows a little bit. Then we could up the whites, not too much, not to where like it blows out everything like this, but we can up the whites till about here. I like that. And then we can even, if we want to take up the blacks, you can. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I like taking down the blacks, honestly, just a little bit. So this is the original. This is with the edits on. Like I said before, it's that boost. It gives it that boost to make it look kind of moody, kind of vibrant. You can't even really use those two words in the same sentence. So it makes it look moody, and that's what I like in my drone photography. So original, edited for the first part. So we fixed the lighting issue. I think we're good on that. We're gonna go start on these greens. So let us go and lettuce. That's funny. Okay, let's go take these greens down a little bit, not too far. I think 50 is a good value to start off with. Maybe 55. I think that looks good. All right, and we're going to up the luminance so those greens become really vibrant and punchy against all the other colors that are there. Up the saturation just a bit. I like how that looks. Actually, we completely forgot the white balance over here. Let's go work on that. Okay, so we want to bring down the white balance to -3, like we did on the other one. You don't need a whole bunch, because if you bring it back, it looks horrible. If you bring it up, it looks like sepia. It's bad. So Let's bring it back to -3. Think that looks really good. And we can mess with the tint. Tint goes up just a little bit. It kind of creates those not warmer tones, but the kind of the darker tones. Like if you go to the green, I feel like the green creates a little bit of a warmer tone. Um, so I like to do like +3 on that because it really meshes with the whites. The vibrance, we really don't need a whole bunch, maybe 10 on that, and the saturation. Not we honestly we don't even need saturation. We can bring the saturation down -5, and that still looks good. So let's and after before after kind of gives that definition, the punch to the greens, which isn't the focal point, but it kind of serves the purpose to draw the eye to the center where those punchy the whites are. There we go. Not punchy. I don't know where I was going with that, but hey, that's where we're at right here. So we're not done yet. Let's go and let's look at these yellows, and there's some definition in the yellows. Like as I'm moving this, you can see what it is. I actually like the kind of like the brown muddiness in the bottom. So we're gonna use the luminance, bring it out a little bit, and we're gonna bump up the saturation on that ever so slightly. So I think we're done on this photo. We're gonna move on to the next one pretty quickly here, but let's go ahead and look at the original and then the edit. Original and then edit. I really like how this turned out. So the last thing we have to do is we have to crop it. You already know. So I like going 4:3 and turning it over on its side. Boom, lining it up. I think that looks really good. Hitting enter. Boom. Actually, it's not the last thing. Why do I keep forgetting this stuff? I do this every single day. Okay. All right. So, what we have to do is, as in the last one, we have to get rid of that color noise. So, let's go ahead and let's pump up the color noise to about 30. And that gets rid of that color noise. Okay. That was good. We don't need any sharpening. This photo is sharp enough on its own. Look at this. Sharp enough on its own. Yeah, we don't need any of that, so we are good. All right, so that's that photo. We're coming to the last photo, which is the same waterfall, but from a top-down perspective. So as we start this off, you already know we come here to the exposure and we pump it up a little bit, not too much. And then I want to up the contrast here so that it kind of gives contrast to what's around the waterfall. The bright areas, the dark areas. It creates an even further divide between the light values of each pixel. So that's that. We are going to bring down the highlights, gives some more definition in the highlights, even though bringing this brings the highlight out, but this brings back the definition in it to me. So we're gonna bring down the shadows a little bit, and we're gonna up the whites ever so slightly. If I up it like that, we're gonna kill it. But this is upping the whites on the entire image, not just the white part here in the waterfall. So we're gonna up the whites just like that. I like that. And you can up the blacks if you want to. I don't on most images unless it's a really dark image. I like to bring it back so it gives a little bit of that definition. And also, you got to give yourself room so you're not crushing blacks here. I'm not crushing blacks over here because there's really no definition, or there's really no detail or information over here. So it's okay. I think we're in a good place to start this right now. Okay, so now that we've done that, we've gone through the light. Let's go ahead and let's get a before, and here's the after. I think it looks really, really good. This photo was taken well. So when you take photos well, it makes editing them even easier. Let me stress that when you take photos well, it makes editing them even easier. You don't have to do as much to make it look good. So let's go ahead and let's work on the color right now. We're going to start off with these greens. So with these greens, we're going to pull it down just so we get these, kind of I like to call it like mixed vegetable look. It's weird. I don't know if I if I completely like that, but the mixed vegetable look, it's a weird thing that I do. Okay, like moving forward. So we brought the hue on that down. I always really like to do the luminance first, so I know where I stand. I think this is a little bit oversaturated, but we'll work on that a little bit later. We are going to pull up the saturation here. Man, why do I do that? I do that all the time. Okay. All right, we've we've got to go back to the white balance. I completely forget about that every single time until after. So let's work on the white balance. So as in the other ones, we're going to take down the temperature to -3. That makes it a whole lot better. Okay. That, and then we are going to up the tint a little bit, kind of smooth things out, and we can do what do we want to do? Sheesh. Five is fine. I like that. I like that. I think that looks good. All right, and we are going to up the vibrance, and then we can bring it down the saturation ever so slightly. I want to do -5. Okay, I like that. So we already did the green value. Now we can work on the yellow. And see, if I do this, you can see that the yellow values, it really, so this value is bringing in the color and contrast here in the like the rock, the bedrock there. So I want to bring that back, bring some color into that. Hopefully lighten it up a little bit. Honestly, I don't have to light it up. I can kind of move it back a little bit, up the saturation some. It gives some kind of character over here, differences in color there. Um, and that's it on this one, unless we want to do the color noise reduction, which obviously you need to do. Boom. I think that looks great. I think that looks great, saying it's in line with all these photos, other photos. I think that looks really, really good. Um, yeah. So that is how. Oh, not done yet. Not done yet. Crop this thing 4:3. Turn this over on its side like that. Kind of move it and place it where you want to, and hit enter. Boom. Oh, show the original. There we go. That's with the edits. I like this. I think these 3 photos work. I think they work very, very well. So that is that, yeah. So that's how I edit my photos. Um, if you like the photos that you see here, like any of these, that one, I like that one there, this one, this one, this one, and a lot of these other photos. I have an Unsplash page. It will be linked in the description. If you want to download some of those photos, you can. If you want to give credit, you can. You don't have to. It would be appreciated if you did. But yeah, follow me on Instagram at RV_Truitt Jr. I post all of my drone photos there. I like to post one a day. Now, I don't have enough content, backlog to post one a day, but if I do, I will be posting them. I like doing drone videos. Obviously, this is YouTube. But yeah, if you like my content, please like and subscribe. It helps me grow. Please let me know what I can do better. I'm always trying to learn. I'm not the best at everything. And yeah, and you guys have a blessed day. Goodbye.